Hello guys, Lone Vic here again, and today we are coming back to Canvas with the add-on or expansion Reflections. And I decided to make a separate how to play video for this because there are quite a few changes and additions made with the appearance of the Reflections add-on. So if you want to see only the base game of Canvas and how it is played, you can take a look at my previous video that I've uploaded to the channel quite a long time ago. But right now, let's talk about this game from 1 to 5 players about, well, painting basically. So we'll start with how to set it up. Then we will talk about rules for 2 to 5 players, and then we will talk about solo rules. And if you're interested in a solo playthrough video, I will be uploading this one on my channel very soon as well. If you like the work that I'm doing on the channel, if you enjoy the movies, if you find them helpful, click the like button, hit the subscribe, ring the notification bell to support the channel and hopefully help it grow. Fingers crossed for that. And now, without further ado, let's take a look at what Canvas Reflections is all about. Right now, with Canvas Reflections, you are getting a normal player board, which is a definite upgrade in comparison to this Canvas one that you had previously. It was cute, but a bit unwieldy, in my opinion. So this normal cardboard, thick player board is definitely an upgrade when it comes to the component quality. So let's roll this mat out of here. I'm keeping it right now only as a souvenir in the box, kind of. Okay, so I'm placing the board horizontally. It should be kind of vertical because, well, the space is better suited for the screen in this way. And now, to set the game up, we are taking all of the tokens for the prizes in different colors, and right now there is a new gold one that appeared with the add-on. So we've got red, green, silver, gold, purple and blue, and now we've got spaces for each of them on the board, so let's place those accordingly. Okay, so here we are with all of those reward tokens. If you have the normal version of the game, those would be cardboard. I've got the wooden version here. The second thing is that you should take the inspiration tokens that you have in the box as well and distribute 6 to each of the players. And I will pretend to be playing a 2-player game, so I will distribute 6 each. There we go. So 6 inspiration tokens to start the game. This is different from the original game where the number was lower. I don't remember exactly what right now. There are enough inspiration tokens for 5 players in the box and none more. So this is the entire pool for a game, basically. So if you've got only 2 players, then only 12 inspiration tokens will be running around the board. The next thing is that each of the players should get 3 empty canvases from the whole set that we have in the game to complete their free paintings. And this is how the canvases look like. As you can see, they have different backgrounds so that you can select which ones you prefer. So let's give 1, 2 and 3 to this player and 1, 2 and 3 to this player. Okay. The next thing is that there is a tuck box with all of those foil cards with pieces of paintings that we will be selecting for the game, right? And, well, right now, if you have the add-on, there are quite a lot of those foil cards, as you can see, definitely too many to fit into this small tuck box. So I am usually playing without it because, well, the rules tell you that those cards should be covered so you don't know what's coming up next, but we in our group usually don't really mind the fact that this is visible. It's we're trying not to peek, let's say. And you distribute those cards into those 2 rows that you have over here. So all in all, 8 cards will be present in the beginning of the game, available for the players, and the rest is here in the stack. The last step, if you are playing a regular game without any of the variants, like for example the signature style or the award cards, is to place these 4 scoring conditions from this deck. You draw 4 of them, or you can take the rulebook and select any of those scenarios that you have on the reverse of either the rulebook from the main game or from the add-on, because those are like combinations of those scoring conditions that give some prefixed complexity to it, so you can regulate the level of difficulty. But I find it that drawing 4 of them at random is, for our group at least, the most fun. So let's do it like this. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like the conditions are on one side of the card, and on the other side of the card you've got clarifications so that you can easily understand what you are scoring for each painting. And basically this is the whole setup of the game if you are playing without the signature style variant or the award cards. Now, if you are playing with any of those add-ons, then you have to do one additional step. If you are playing with the reward cards, you need to draw 1 of these reward cards at random and place this reward card, either the blue paint face up or the orange one, somewhere on the table so that everybody can see it. Now, this is a scoring condition for the end of the game, and the orange one, as you can see here, the orange color is a competitive one, so only 1 player will get these 3 points. For example, the one who has the most inspiration tokens at the end of the game in this case. And the blue side gives 2 points, but for every player who fulfills the condition. So it's not a competitive variant, it's for a more friendly game. And this is the only thing that changes when it comes to this awards variant, let's say. Now, with the signature variant, you have 5 cards with signature styles, and you should deal 1 at random to each player. And on the other side, you can see that you have kind of types of cards that you can include in your paintings to score additional points. For example, let's say that we are looking at this per metal card that we've got. So you will get 2 points per metal element on your paintings. And here, for convenience, you have all the names of those foiled cards listed that are included in this metal category so that you can locate them easier, but you score only 1 of those paintings, and each painting consists of 3 cards. So a maximum number of points that you can get for this style card is 6, because you can, if you are lucky, get 3 cards with this metal characteristic into 1 painting and score this painting. So you score only 1 for this card, not all 3 of your paintings. Okay, so this is the whole setup. Thank you very much. And now let's take a look how to play a round of Canvas with the Reflections add-on, so this refreshed, newer version. Okay, here we are back, ladies and gentlemen. So now let's talk about how to play this game. Now, this game is played in rounds, and in each round, the player has a choice of 1 of 2 actions to perform. Either they collect a piece of the painting to add to their hand, or they create a painting and score it. So those are the only 2 options, and during your turn you select 1 of them and you perform this action. So let's talk about selecting these cards from the display. If this is the first player's turn, for example, the first player has the possibility to take the cards from the first column, 1 of the cards from the first column, for free. So I can take, for example, this, and then these cards will be moved here, and a new card will be drawn over here, and this would be the end of my round. So this player, for example, got this card to his hand right now. The maximum size is 5. If you have 5 cards, you cannot take any new cards. You have to create a painting on your turn. But before that, you can choose whether you want to collect or maybe create a painting. Okay, so for now, this is it. And now the other player, for example, has access to these 2 cards in the first column for free. But let's say that they're interested in this card because, well, they think that this one would be great for their game. So what you have to do is you have to place 1 inspiration token on every card in every column which is in front of the column from which you are taking the card. So now I've placed 4 inspiration tokens here, so I can take this or this card. If I wanted to take this or this one, I would have to add 1 inspiration token here. So the second player takes this card, for example. There we go. And we slide this and we add a new one. Okay. And now the first player has a chance to take one of these for free or add their inspiration tokens here and here to take one of these cards, and so forth and so on. And if you collect a card that already has an inspiration token on it, you add it to your inspiration tokens and slide everything and add a new card. And the game continues like this until each person has completed 3 paintings. So this is the first action. Now, what happens if the players, I will add a few cards to both players' hands, right? What happens if the players have already acquired a few cards and they would like to complete a painting instead of performing the action of collecting one of those cards from here? So if you want, in your turn, you can create a painting. And what that means is that you take any 3 cards from your hand, the one that you've collected, you can put them in any order on top or bottom, how you want, and you place those cards on one of the backgrounds in the sleeve that was provided with the game. And this is a complete painting. Once you complete a painting, you automatically score it against all of these conditions that you have here, and then you set it aside. For each scored condition, obviously, you collect 1 ribbon to mark that you've scored this condition for the end of the game, and you set the painting aside, and the other player takes a turn. Now, you can create a painting at any time when you have at least 3 foil cards to put into a painting, because each painting has to consist of no more, no less than 3 cards. But there is also one more condition. If at any point in your game, on your turn, you have 5 foil cards in your hand, so you've already collected 5 foil cards, you have to create a painting. You cannot collect more foil cards than 5. You have to take 3 of those 5, create a painting, and then you can, on your next turn, add new ones to your collection and get ready to collect another painting. And this is how the game is played. So, as you can see, the rules are very, very extremely simple. So right now let's talk about how do you get points in this game and how does scoring look like. And that will be basically it. We will be able to move to solo game later on. When it comes to scoring, gold and silver tokens have independent numbers of points. Silver tokens, if you collect a silver token, it grants you 2 points. Every single token grants you 2 points. Gold ones give you 3. These tokens, the reds, the greens, the purples, and the blues, are dependent on the number shown on the card. So let's start with the gold and silver ones. How does one collect gold and silver tokens? So, anytime that your painting has, for example, this kind of symbol uncovered, this would mean that you get 1 silver token per every this rainbow circle icon in your painting. So if my painting, for example, looked like this when I completed it, I hope you can see this well. This would mean that I get 2 silver tokens, and each silver token is 2 points, so that would grant me 4 points at the end of the game, right? Gold tokens are pretty similar to the silver ones, but the gold token icon, which I have here to demonstrate you, says that, for example, in this case, you would get a gold ribbon for each triangle that is adjacent to this gold ribbon here. So only in this place and in this place. So whereas silvers, you can collect for icons on your painting which are in any place but match the condition, gold ones, which give more points, you have to have them next to the ribbon, right? So for example, if my painting looked like this, I would get 1 gold ribbon for this triangle because it's next to this ribbon here, and that would be it. Now, these cards score differently and the conditions are described on the other side and they're pretty clear. So I'll just give you a few for instances. So for example, composition gives you a ribbon for each painting that has all the 5 colors occupied with any symbol. So for example, if my painting looked like this, I wouldn't get a green ribbon for composition because this and this space is not occupied by a symbol, right? So if I even sleeve it for better understanding. So this and this is empty, so I don't get anything. Or for example, we've got rhythm, which tells me that if I have 3 pairs of symbols, I would get a ribbon. If I have 3 pairs of symbols on a painting, so that would mean any 3 pairs of symbols. So for example, 1 pair of suns, so 2 suns, and 2 of these, and 2 of something else. But remember that each symbol can be a member of only 1 individual pair, and so forth and so on. So at the end of the game, you tally up the ribbons that you have from each of the scoring cards. And if you have, for example, 1 green ribbon, you would score 1 point. If 2 of your paintings fulfill the condition and you have 2 ribbons, you would get 3 points for this one. 3 would give you 9, so forth and so on the other ones. You sum up the points. If you were playing with the style variant or the award variant, you would add some additional points, get the points for silver and gold ribbons, and that's it. You've played a game of Canvas. Now, there is one more symbol that needs explaining, and this is this one. And it sometimes shows on the cards. And this symbol says that whenever it is used on a painting, it doubles the area, the swatch of paint that it's pointing towards. So in this case, this purple area would give me 2 squares instead of 1. And the Reflections expansion also expanded the game with an interesting twist, because sometimes you will find a card which has this little icon on top here, and this means that these cards can be reversed and the layouts of the swatches will be different, and also the painting will be different on the other side. And when collecting this kind of card, you can put it into the painting one or the other side. You can make the decision at a later time. So those are reversible cards that come with the Reflections add-on. Okay, so I think that this is pretty much okay when it comes to the rules of play for this game. Now we can talk about how to play it solo, because there are 2 versions of solo game in this. And if you are interested in seeing how the game plays and follow a playthrough of mine, then you can find it in another of my videos on this channel. If you're not interested in the solo mode, this is it, I think. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. My name is Lone Vic. This was Canvas with the Reflections expansion. And if you liked this video, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, give me a like under this video. And if you want to ask something or comment, there's a comment section below for that. Thank you very much. Okay guys, so now let's talk about how to play Canvas solo with the Reflections add-on. Now, I will be showing you two versions of solo play. One is called the Van Gogh version, where you are playing with kind of an automated opponent, let's say, but this opponent is only here to kind of cycle through some of the cards, so he will be just discarding some cards at random. And the other version is called puzzle version, where you just play only by yourself and you're trying to figure out how to score the most points. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have to do to set up the Van Gogh variant first. So for the Van Gogh variant, you set up everything for a player as usual. So you give the player 6 inspiration tokens, 3 canvases, you set up the objectives, the ribbons, and deal out the cards. And then you take 6 additional inspiration tokens for Van Gogh. And this is basically it. That's the whole setup. There you go. So what's happening is that the player plays their round normally. So you either get an action of collecting a foil cards and paying for it with inspiration if needed, or you can create a painting. Now, Vincent always plays second, so you always start first, and then after your turn, after the solo player's turn, it's Vincent's turn. And what happens then is you take those 6 inspiration tokens that you start the game with, you shake them up, and you drop them. And depending on how many of those tokens drop face up, there are 2 rules to remember. If there is an odd number of tokens dropping face up, you take the card from the bottom row. In this case, we have 1 token, so Vincent would discard this card and move up the rest. If, for example, in the next round, Vincent would have this result, then what Vincent would do, because this is an odd result, is that he would pay for the first column, and then, since it's an odd result, he would take a card from the bottom row, but from the second column for which he paid. And the player would be able to collect these inspiration tokens if they took one of these cards for free. Now, and since those tokens are here now, Vincent only throws 4 tokens in the next round. Now, what happens if Vincent in his round, I had to cheat here, throws an even number, or for example, all of the tokens fall face down, because 0 is treated as an even number as well. In this case, Vincent takes the cards from the top row, depending on the column. So if it was a 0 result, Vincent would take this card and add this token to his collection, and this card would be discarded. And if Vincent, for example, threw 2, which is also an even number, Vincent would add 1 inspiration token here, 1 here, and he would collect the card from the top row, and it would be discarded, and Vincent would be left with 3 for the next round. So sometimes it can happen that Vincent won't have any tokens to throw at all. In this case, the result is 0, so Vincent collects the first card from the top row, etc., etc. And this is how Vincent helps cycle those cards and take away some of the cards that we might have wanted. And the game ends normally when the player creates 3 paintings. Vincent doesn't create anything, he only takes away the cards. And one note to remember is that Vincent can only spend 6 inspiration tokens in his round maximum. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and he would have to take a card from this row, even if he had more inspiration tokens to throw. And you score normally at the end of the game. So this is called painting with Vincent. Now, let's talk about the second solo variant, which is called the puzzle variant. Now, for the puzzle variant, the game is quite easier to set up. You also do the same setup for 1 player, and you do the board and everything. But what you do is that you create a supply of 6 tokens of 6 inspiration tokens here next to the paintings, and you won't be throwing them or anything like that. But if you decide that you're not interested in the cards from the first column and you want to pay for skipping the row, then instead of doing something like this, you put these tokens into this pool that was created here. The cards that you skipped are being discarded, and then you select your card to add to your hand, which is, for example, this in my case, and then you slide everything here. And refresh the rows. Whenever you take a card from the column which is for free, so the leftmost card, like for example here, you gain 1 inspiration token from this pool if there are any available. And then you slide and then you add a new one. And whenever you create a painting, you also gain 1 inspiration token from here. And that's basically how the game is played here in this solo puzzle variant. And of course, the rulebook gives you information which are here, for solo scoring. So for example, if you scored between 0 and 24 points, you will get the participation award. And if you have 40 plus, you're best in show. And you can grade yourself according to this scale right now. Okay, so guys, this is it for the solo variant of Canvas. I hope that this helped clarify any issues that you might have had with the game. For now, this is it from me. My name was Lone Vic. This was Canvas Reflections. Thank you very much for watching. And once again, if you liked the video, if you found it helpful, if you enjoyed the content on my channel, click the like button below the video, ring the notification bell to be notified about new videos, hit the subscribe, and see you soon in another new video on my channel. If you're interested in seeing a solo playthrough of Canvas, it's on my channel as well. You can find one. I'm playing against Vincent. You can check out how well I did. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.